Good morning. And again, I'm greeting you here from the banks of the Great River, on the side of the Kalahari Desert. And as promised, I will talk a little bit about another very dangerous situation, another battle indication, and that is the state of our armed forces, specifically the state of our Navy. Yesterday, I've discussed the fact that the old Dakota plane is being used to uh, fly along our coastal lines to do all the reconnaissance work, what there is to do and see what they should be seeing. But yeah, before 1994, during the border war, we had a very long coastline to protect, right from the Canary River all the way around Cape Point, Cape Agulhas, and then up to Ponto de Oro on the Mozambican border. So it's an extremely long coastline, and we have abundance of maritime life that needs to be protected. A lot of our naval craft was being used during wartime to transport not only special forces but also provisions and food, and up and above the operational part there were still the normal patrols to try and protect the territorial waters of the country. Yes, and then when 1994 came, it was time to upgrade the Navy as well. And that's also part of uh, the scandal surrounding the arms which was bought, the ships, the aircraft which was bought, and part of the Jacob Zuma problem which still needs to be addressed. But yeah, the submarines, the three older class naval submarines, the Daphne class, were substituted with new ones. We had one frigate left, which was substituted for new frigates, modern class, and up-to-date ships. And some of the other older ships was also taken out of commission. But to run an effective navy cost a lot of money, and as I have explained yesterday, the problem is that salaries are in fact eating away the budget, and that there is not enough money to spend on the maintenance of our warships, the frigates, the attack craft, as well then as the submarines. So, very much similar. The world defense budget has been minimized, being made smaller. Every year there's a little bit less money to spend on the craft to keep them in operational condition, to give the highest possible training to the sailors who must man those ships and submarines. Now, in the pre-1994 phase, you will find that of the three submarines, one would be in the dry dock and two would be operational. Since the arrival of the new submarines, we had seen a growing tendency where two is in the dry dock and one is operational. And I think at the current moment, due to the lack of sufficient funds to maintain these submarines, none of them are actually operational. There's other severe problems that is also facing, challenges that is facing the Navy, as well, very similar to that of the Army and of the Air Force, the budgets, and the fact that salaries are so important and has become too high to maintain. Once again, we have seen this decline in budget over the years in all the semi-state institutions. We saw the decline with the SAA, carrier services. We saw that in PRASA and in numerous of other state-owned entities and semi-state-owned entities. Less money is being made available for research and development, for maintenance, and the result of it is that it became less and less and less functional to the point where it came to a stop. And it all boils down to money. If there is not sufficient funds to operate, everything is at a standstill. We must now also assume that the very same thing might happen to SASSA, the social benefit grants that's being paid out for people who is jobless, extra for each child that's being born. And we saw this massive group of people, up to 17 million, who is reliable on social grants to survive. And it is exactly here where the very big danger is for every one of us. I can see that they will take even more money away from infrastructure maintenance, from other maintenance for new projects, and they will move that money to enable them to keep paying SASSA to the jobless and to the masses, who will go hungry if they do not receive those grants. Similarly, we will then see less job creation, we will see less progress in a different and a variety of fields, and in the end, it all comes down to the point where everything is collapsing just to keep the social grants going. But once we reach the stage where the social grants can't be paid, then not even a highly modern Navy or Air Force can assist in the protection of the people, as it has been neglected over years and years. The same way, the ability of the police and the defense force to protect the people are being slowly diminishing, the ability. Less money is spent on training. Less money is being spent on maintenance of the vehicles, similar to the Navy, who cannot go to sea at this stage, because maintenance is not being done. And it is a very sad day. But the whole capacity of the Defence Force, this once mighty Defence Force, the South African Defence Force, which was rated as the strongest force in Africa, and probably the strongest police force in Africa as well, has now been slowly diminishing until nothing. So the ability to protect the country is gone. The ability to protect the citizens of the country is gone. So when SASSA is also gone, and the masses go hungry, and they start looting in all earnest, we are going to experience huge problems in South Africa. And that's what the Suidlander warnings have been about over the past couple of years. Some people have seen this coming for the past 20 years. But especially in the last couple of years, and even since the start of COVID, we have seen a massive increase in this deterioration of abilities in South Africa. How on earth are a police force and a military that is half trained, substandard trained, cannot handle, is not allowed to handle a firearm? How are they going to protect the ordinary citizen, the law-abiding citizen of this country against the masses that needs to eat? Because if they need to eat, they will get the food. If they must steal it, if they must kill for it, if they must take it by force, and that is going to happen. And that's what we are warning about. We have to be ready under all circumstances. We will have to have a plan in place in case we reach that stage. And everything looks as if we are already there. So very few things could still fail before we are sitting with extreme violence in South Africa. That's why I'm calling on you today to make work of it. Join the Suidlanders while you have time. We have the only national emergency initiative that gives us a sort of an Armageddon final protection phase, where we will have to do what we have to do to stay alive, where we can save our people, where we can save our culture, our language, and our existence. You must have a nice cup of coffee this morning, put a lot of condensed milk inside, and let the sweetened taste bring back good memories of the days when our armed forces were still in the position to protect its citizens. Thank you.